Andy Murray dethroned in a deflating straight-set loss.
Yeah, it was a very tough match. Grigor was a lot better for the most part. Just hitting my head a lot. It was, yeah, I mean, not making any balls. I just played quite a boring match from start to finish. So it was to match my personality, really.
Andy Murray might have said something close to that, but this is Josh Berry, who's become known around the tennis world as the top tennis impressionist. Josh, welcome back. It was a year ago you sat here. This was very new.
Yeah.
Your buddy made some videos. You put it on YouTube, and about 1 million views later, you've got a chance to meet Rafa and Djokovic and Federer.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was a very special thing, no? It was very special for me with him.
So you did Rafa too, Rafa. Is that the most nervous you've been?
Very. My legs were shaking. I felt like I was going to fall over. So that was very tough. And when I did Murray, if you've seen the video, he doesn't actually get it. So he goes.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's like, what? What a disaster on that.
You mean Rafa doesn't get it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was pulling my leg. I was too nervous to accept the humour, I think there. But.
What would Rafa say about a disappointing end to Wimbledon? Everybody was hoping that he'd play Roger in the semifinals, and said he's going to go home to his boat and miss the second weekend again.
Well, I think the most important thing, this is a protest from me. I want Wimbledon to be on clay. If it is on clay, maybe I can play better. Could be a better thing for me, no?
You think the visuals is part of it, too? The facial expressions are a big part of Rafa.
Yeah, for sure.
Djokovic doesn't have quite as recognizable a voice as Murray or Nadal, but you've got Novak down too?
Well, I think the most important thing with him is to sort of find this little part in your voice, but maybe it's more important to talk to his coach, talk to Boris Becker. Well, you know, very much so. I think with Novak, the key has been for me to tell him to open his eyes when he's playing. Because, you know, he always has to open his eyes. He does that before he serves, if you noticed. Yes, you know, I always do this, always opening the eyes like this before a return. Well, you know, very much so. I think I've helped him to loosen the quarters in a great deal of tournaments. So.
I don't know if Boris would claim that yet. What do you think? I mean, he brought Boris along to get him fired up and perform better in the big points and the big moments, and now he's back in Wimbledon semifinal. What do you imagine the Becker pre-match speech might be like to Novak?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think Boris would probably be like, well, you know, as I said, with the eye opening, that's very important, Novak, you know, very much so. Maybe don't drink so much late at night. You know, that's another key thing, I think, very much so.
Boris telling someone not to drink late at night. What's been the hardest one to master? People obviously want to see you do Federer. Roger's not, I mean, English is basically his first language. It's the language of his mom, so it's harder to pick out an accent with that.
Well, you know, when you're so perfect as Roger is, you know, there's nothing really you can do. You know, just like to talk a little bit about yesterday when Prince William and Kate were there. You know, it was unbelievable for them to watch a bit of royalty and myself. So, you know, I just want to thank them for that.
Okay, so it's not just the voice; it's a little bit of the Fed persona.
Well, yeah.
What's been the most challenging one to master?
You know, John's always pretty tough, but once you've sort of found that area, once you've got that in your voice, you know, right there, I mean, that's great. Let's just take a little time, Chris, to talk about Rafael Nadal. Let's just talk about him for a second. This guy, I mean, he's a beautiful man. Let's just say it how it is. I mean, he's a beautiful guy. If I look like him, I mean, I'd come into the studio without a shirt. I mean, try and ask him out for a drink, and he always...
Well, that is a bit inappropriate. No, I don't want this. He's a little bit normally 10-year-old girls, no?
But, you know, I love him. I think he's great. So.
You just met John. You didn't have the courage to do John to John. He's going to watch this now.
Oh, dear. I had a feeling if I did, because we were watching Brazil-Chile, actually, on Saturday, and he was like, whoa, that's a great penalty right there. I mean, come on. And I didn't want to do it in front of him in case he came out with a, excuse me? No, you cannot be serious, man. I just couldn't do that.
John's not nearly as intimidating as they make him out to be. I think he probably would enjoy it. Now, Dimitrov, you have to. The top four are great, but now there's a whole new wave of players coming through, as we've seen at Wimbledon. So, what are you working in Dimitrov? Is that one in progress?
Yeah, he's kind of a bit like Federer, a little bit higher. There's something to do with it's somewhere.
I think with Grigor, it sounds a little bit more like that. He sort of closes the mouth when he speaks a lot. It's somewhere in there. It's sort of around that, but it's.
What are you going to do? Get press conferences? And what's the process for?
That's it. You just watch the press conferences and watch the post-match interviews, which are great because they just say the same thing every time. Like, Rafa, how are you feeling?
Well, I feel okay. I played well. Thank you very much. Tried my best. It's important.
Andy, yeah, it just was very boring. Played a boring match as ever. And of course, Darren Cahill loves this one. When before every answer, Andy always comes out with the yeah, and that's
yeah. That's the key to a Murray. Is yeah, the start of everything, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there are lots of different types. There's the sort of when he's really not sure, and then there's the when it's more sort of like I am fairly certain, but I just I want to put this in.
What's outside of those guys? What are your other favorite ones to do?
Would you guys know? Would you viewers know Robbie Koenig? Is he?
I do. The commentator Robbie Koenig.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do the South African voice.
I love listening to Robbie because he's so excited every time a player hits a shot. It's absolutely outrageous. It's unbelievable from Federer. Just the maestro is playing. Unbelievable.
You listen to a lot of tennis matches. That's very good.
Well, I saw him the other day, actually, and I just went over to him and was like,
Oh, Robbie, it's jaw-dropping stuff to shake your hand. It's unbelievable.
Roger Rashid, the coach of Dimitrov, we just said hello to him in the hallway. And again, you didn't do Roger to Roger because you thought he might flex on you. But,
yeah, beat me up.
But what would he say about the process to get his guy Dimitrov ready for the challenge of the semis?
Well, I think for Grigor, the most important part is to stop him focusing on the ball girls. He's had a lot of too much focus on the ball girls, in my opinion. A bit more time needed in the kayak, but we'll just have to see on that one.
Very good.
What's next for this? I mean, you're gonna branch out from tennis?
Well, yeah, university next year. I want to try and do a little bit of stand-up and see a few guys. Got a few British comedians down. That's okay.
Besides John McEnroe, I know you've been working on some other commentators. Do you have a Brad Gilbert that's
I think the key for Mr. Brad Gilbert, you got to get in all the nicknames for this guy, all right, buddy? Andy Muzzard, this guy is an unbelievable competitor. Comes out on the court, gives the woodshed beatdown in the first 4 rounds, but Showtime Dimitrov just a little bit too good in the quarterfinals.
You're getting there. I'm not going to give it an A+. John, I think, is an A+. BG is still a work in progress.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Take us out with 2 guys who have been disappointed at Wimbledon, but are looking forward to the summer hardcourt season in the U.S. Open. If Rafa and Andy were sitting here commiserating about the Wimbledon losses and looking forward.
Well, Andy, I want to ask you if you want to come on my boat for a little bit. Could be fun. We could have a good time.
No, I think I'll just stay inside and get an early night. I'm just way too boring for any of that stuff. So that's all I've got to say, really. Sorry, Rafa. Maybe give me the next match we play on clay. No.
That's very good stuff, Josh. Thanks. We appreciate it. Good luck at university. You've got a career ahead of you.